that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up is acceptance.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about acceptance, but it's not. I'll just say
I was getting all excited.
I'll just say it's not the answer.
Welcome, my brothers and sisters, to Two Old Goats. Let's get uncomfortable.
All right. Welcome. Let's get after it.
All right.
See what's going on. Start with the uncomfort up front. I like to get it over with. Get to the comfort part.
Well, I can tell you what you're going to have to say to get uncomfortable, Barry, but I don't know if you're comfortable saying something that's going to make you uncomfortable.
Oh, that was a circle there, I think.
Yeah.
Or a couple of loops at least.
It's called a circle jerk.
Yeah.
Just stand in the middle, brother. Enjoy the ride.
I understand. Well, good. What you got? Anything?
I don't know. Have we talked about discipline for a while?
Every day. Jock.
Man, I love that book.
Yeah, it's really good. It's his experience, the fact that he's lived all that and done all that, and he's aware enough to know. Of course, he always studied a lot too. I mean, he really did all the stuff he's talking about. I think he's from the same planet Elon is from.
He might be.
Yeah, because they're not from here.
No.
So.
Well, there's a few of them that aren't from here. I think that ultimately, I think a lot of the thing is if you look at those kind of guys and females, there's women out there that have the ability to do the same thing.
Oh, you bet.
But the thing is if you looked at the commonality between all of them is that they've removed a lot of their limits.
Right.
They don't fixate on a lot of what the masses fixate on. They don't fixate on, how do I get promotions and raises and this kind of thing, or how do I get more friends and get accepted in the popular crowds,
Right.
None of those people were like that,
Right.
Not that everything that I've read, none of these guys were like super popular or the cool kids, A lot of them had some struggles and they've learned to adapt and overcome. And then they don't hold on to the shit that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And then, that makes them those outliers or those extraordinary people that make a difference in this world.
Yeah, well, he kind of talked about it. I think it was today. He said he's worked with all kinds of people from all different backgrounds. I think he called it nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
And his opinion was neither.
Right.
Yeah, he's worked with them all and had success with all of them and had failures with all of them.
Yeah, ultimately it came to the point of making a choice. That's what he said. And you could have two individuals that came from the same street with the same kind of family, with the same kind of environment. One ends up in prison as a drug dealer, and the other one becomes a judicial judge or whatever for the government, district attorney.
Two different kinds of criminals.
I don't know about that. Not all of them are criminals.
Yeah, like when the son went and told his dad after he got out of college he was going into organized crime.
Right.
And his dad said, "You mean the government or the mob?"
Right.
Yeah.
Now I hear you. Not all of them are criminals.
There you go.
Not all of them are.
Yeah.
I think it's about the same in every organization and every family and every street and every city.
Right.
It's about the same percentage.
Yeah. No, I agree. Just messing with you.
But you're right, and I think that there should be some accolades towards the way he viewed that, to pay attention to people's backgrounds and what they were going through and what they've been through, just to acknowledge that just makes him that much next door as a human, and that's why, when you said, oh, they're from a different planet, it's because they think differently, They pay attention to some shit. They're in the moment.
Yeah. They had some questions answered, I guess, through their journey. Goggins had to face a lot. He didn't know whether he was going to live day to day coming out of his house. And Jocko worked, he operated over in Ramadi,
Right.
which we read about in all his other book. What was his first book we read? I don't think it was his first one, but it was the first one we read.
Extreme Ownership.
Yeah, Extreme Ownership.
Yeah, I think that was his first one. That's the one with Leif Babbins.
Leif Babin. He lives over there by you. He lives in Wimberley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ever need a little side job done,
yeah,
there you go.
I was up there a couple weekends ago with Amy driving around the Devil's Backbone.
Yeah, the Pickle Festival.
Couldn't make it to that.
That's what I heard. Somebody at the office said something about that.
Yeah. Well, it made the news. It was a real big deal because I guess it's been going on for years. Just those little festivals. Like up in Tomball, we do the German Fest every year.
Right.
But, I mean, it's crowded, but it's always about the same amount of people,
Right.
And from the sounds of it, that's the same thing that this Pickle Fest has, but they posted it on Instagram, and it went off the charts, dude.
Oh, geez.
It was off the charts. I tried to make it there. It was in New Braunfels, and we were in a car in line. Couldn't even make it to the festival, and we were in line for 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So we
Hashtag,
did.
hashtag pickle.
Yeah, we did eventually make it down there later on in the day to drive by it while everybody was leaving, and we saw a bunch of people dressed up as pickles, and but that day was it was like 20, 25 mile per hour winds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a pickle in 20, 25 mile per hour winds.
Right.
So I got a little note here, and it says, stir the pot, random acts of chaos. Okay. Says, so the purpose of this is to challenge the norm by taking radical positive actions to disrupt your social expectations and to inspire others. It says, for 1 week, commit to doing something completely unpredictable each day. Compliment the strangers, dress like someone completely different, just spontaneous decisions, and just go and just see how your body reacts, how your mind reacts, how your loved ones react into those moments. Just because I think the reason why I wrote that down is, and I think it goes to like a conversation you and I had earlier about, when we talk to people and they say, oh, it's the same old,
right.
Same job, get home at the same time, and, it's the same meals or whatever, right? And I think you're missing out on life if that's how you speak every day.
Right.
I'm tired of my life. That going back to that saying that all men live a quiet desperation. This is this activity that I wrote down here is to break that habit.
Yeah.
Start throwing some chaos in there. Start throwing some spontaneity.
Right.
One thing that I've done personally is it doesn't matter where I'm at, walking, driving, wherever. If somebody in the car goes, "Oh, that'd be cool to see," I'll turn. I'll stop. I'll slam on the brakes. Let's go. Let's see what it is. And it's been interesting, because that's not my norm. My norm is, oh, well, let me do some research on it. Let me find out if it's worth it. My time's valuable. I want to make sure it's worth it. How much is it going to cost?
Or if you're driving somewhere, what's the most efficient way to go?
Right. Absolutely. Amy and I had just the greatest time when we were up in Wimberley. Our goal was to go to the Devil's Backbone, and we did it, and we saw the bar, the Devil Backbone. It's been there for like 97 years or something like that. And then Amy's like, "Oh, what's this over here?" I said, "You know what?" I turned the GPS off. I said, "Let's just go." I mean, it's not like we're back in the pioneer days. I mean, at any point in time, I can pull up the GPS or I can figure it out. We can figure it out. I know how to read road signs, And man, we just saw the coolest houses and the smallest little towns. We went through this one called Fisher, Texas. and it had about 30 people in it. It had a post office and a general store, and that was the whole, pretty much the whole town.
Oh wow,
It was awesome.
that's crazy.
And it was cool is so you got the main highway, you have to take the exit, and then there's Fisher, and then you keep going and you're back on the highway. So Amy and I kept doing loops. I go, look, here's Fisher. All right, we're out of Fisher. Here's Fisher. You know, like that one, Big Ben Parliament. Here it
Right.
is.
Yeah, there you go. Or
Yeah.
or like if you ever find Lukenbach, it's not a huge deal like you think it is.
No,
Or like
it's
the
a normal
songs make it
town.
out to be. Yeah.
Other than that red barn that they got a bar in,
Right.
that's a nice
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Well, they've changed it. I mean, they got a merch store and all that stuff now. At least the last time we were out there.
Yeah. Oh, it's been 15 years since I've been out there.
Yeah. Well, there's a singer I listen to, Todd Snyder,
Mm-hmm.
and he sings a little bit about that and those guys and the Devil's Backbone and going into a bar. And he goes, for some reason, they send me into the bar to ask for directions because they were lost. And I'm not, and it's like all bikers in there. And he goes, and I'm not very big and I'm not very good at defending myself whatsoever.
Right.
I don't know why they're sending me in there. So anyway, but it's pretty good. He tells the story before he sings the song. It's a good
Okay.
story. So, yeah, you listen to some music that's about where you're at. You know,
Right.
Todd Snyder,
Okay.
little Jerry Jeff Walker.
Yeah,
He's from right over that way.
that's all before my time, I think. I don't know any of those guys.
Well, he passed away. Jerry Jeff passed away, I think, a couple years ago. So,
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know any of those guys.
yeah.
I
Willie
probably know
Nelson.
some of their songs if I've heard it.
Yeah, you do. You do, for sure.
Cool.
So,
I
anyway.
don't know. What are your thoughts about the random acts of chaos?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really had time to think about it. I guess
Yeah.
it's chaotic sounding. If you want to mix it up, I think that's a good idea.
Well, why wouldn't you
Try
want to
it.
mix it up?
Just do something different.
Why wouldn't you want to mix it up? Why doesn't that excite you?
It does. It does.
Okay, you don't. You might want to tell your face.
Well, I'm just,
You look like you're about to eat Brussels sprouts.
no, I'm guilty of thinking about what how I'm going to respond
Okay.
or what I'm saying. I shouldn't be thinking about it, but
No, I want to hear I want to hear the truth.
right.
It's not like we're recording live on the internet or anything.
right. Nothing like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't, to me, it's not exciting. It's not an exciting prospect to look forward to. I do like to do some things different. I mean, I'm doing some things different right now, but I don't know. Sometimes when I'm already making some changes,
Mm-hmm.
then throwing chaos in on top of that's not my idea of fun
No,
in the moment.
you
But
like things in a
I
nice,
used to.
neat, nice, neat.
No, back when I was in the restaurant business, I lived my life through that. That was,
Yeah.
we called it controlled chaos because that's what it was.
Okay.
When you work in a very busy restaurant, that one of the top of the line places, it's a rock and rolling.
Right.
You got to be
Well,
moving,
I think
thinking.
with this though, it is specifically more controlled chaos. It's
Yeah.
more spontaneity. It's actually it's the intentional way of living to do something different that's out of the norm on a regular.
Yeah.
It's just well, it coincides with the whole, how do you want to end? All nice, neat, and proper that you followed your lines and you did the same job the same day at the same time, same place, or did you throw caution to the wind once in a while and say, you know what, I'm playing hooky today.
Yeah.
Let's go to the ice cream parlor or something like that,
Yeah. Well, see, I think in some ways, I mean, especially if you tie it to my work and a lot of tie it to anything, a lot of that is built in. I've never had a job. Well, I had early when I was going to college and stuff like that. But once I got out of college, I never had a job. The only way I ever got paid was on commission.
Right.
You eat what you kill. There's going to be good months. There's going to be bad months. But it's all up to you and how much hustle do you put in it? How much money can you save? How much money can you save the company, so your profit margins are bigger, so you get bigger checks. I've never had a job, and it wasn't planned out.
Right.
I guess that's just what I'm drawn to. But that's kind of the mentality I've always had is let's get up and get after it. Let's go. But I've never had that go sit behind a desk or something. I can barely go sit at the office for what we to take calls for property time, we call it. It's a 3 hour stretch. And it drives me crazy to sit in there and do that, look on the computer. There's stuff I need to be doing, but I never have been able to do that.
Okay. So you're kind of
So,
already doing it then.
no, I would, well, whatever your level is or whatever you're doing or whatever you're accustomed to doing, I think that's where you start with what you're talking about.
Right.
What I'm talking about is that's kind of how I've always been, but where I am right now is I've recently made some changes and recently doing some things different, and I don't want to throw chaos on top of that.
Yeah.
My chaos, I would be candid, my chaos on top of that right now, which I haven't handled yet, is getting prepared for September.
Oh,
Keeping that goal in mind, that's my chaos added to my already new stuff.
yeah.
So that's probably once I had a chance to think about what's going on and why I was so apprehensive to that when you said
Yeah.
that. I was like, I don't want to talk about that.
Well, there's something that Jocko said. Let me grab it real quick. I think it goes well with what we're talking about here. And I don't think it was today. I think it was yesterday. All right. So yeah, right here when he was talking about the default aggressive,
Right.
he says you want to be dictating what happens, not responding to it. And yes, that means creating or controlling a situation as much as you can. So when I say chaos, you're creating that chaos. And the purpose of creating that chaos is for personal growth, to have a more open mind, to be more willing to do some things that you may not normally do. So in this phrase here, this chaos is created by you on purpose to push you into a direction that you want to go into. So if you're saying, I want to be the mighty elk hunter, right? And I have to have XYZ accomplished in order to become this mighty elk hunter, then that's the chaos you put on top of your current life. But you do it intentionally.
Right.
So I don't even know if it's really, I mean, we call it chaos, but I don't think it's real chaos. I think it's called discipline,
Yeah.
you know?
I like that better.
Discipline?
Yeah. The chaos is, to me, is, well, you need it. I mean, we
Yeah.
need it. And I mean, just even in working out, if you do the same workout every day, all the time, you're not getting much out of it because your muscles are trained for that exact thing.
Right.
You have to mix it up and do some different exercises. And if you're mixing it up all the time, nothing gets really settled in it. So that way you're always getting a lot better
Right.
workout,
Well,
better
that's the
result.
that's the crazy thing about the human body is it adapts and it will adjust. So, if you are doing the same workout, eventually you're not going to grow anymore because your body's used to it. You have
Right.
to adjust something, you have to change something, a movement, whatever. Even like with the fasting, right? If you're going to be intermittent fasting every single day, same time, same that, eventually you'll start gaining weight because your body will adapt. And it just start adjusting itself. So throw a 3 day in there or don't fast at all for a whole week and then fast for a couple of days after that. It's just constantly chaotic discipline.
Right. Well, yeah, that's like jumbo shrimp.
Yeah, but it goes together though, doesn't it? This chaotic discipline.
Okay.
If you're
I
wanting to
guess.
live, right? I mean, shit, you can't tell me, Barry, the last, I don't know, probably 6 years of our lives, dude, we randomly did a bunch of shit.
Right. Oh yeah,
We had chaos, but then there was discipline within it because we were focused, fine tuned. But we kept throwing shit at us. Let's try
right.
this. Let's go do that.
That's how we got here.
I don't know about that.
Doing this.
So I don't know. I think that goes with
Yeah, for sure.
have some chaos, throw some caution to the wind, but have some discipline about it.
Right.
You know,
Well, I need to get to the discipline part. I don't need the
mm,
chaos yet. I need the discipline part. Because yeah,
ideas
you asked me if the elk should. What was your question? Should any elk be
should
afraid?
no should the elk or no what did I say? It was in my dream. It said I think it was like should the elk be? It wasn't if there was be afraid. It was something. Hold on,
Uh,
I got it in my head. Oh man, I'll come up with it. But it was basically about man. Because if you were ready, should the elk be warned or something like that?
no, it was basically you said, "Did you do anything today that should make the elk nervous or
Right.
something like that?
Yes.
Or should they be afraid because you did something today?
Right.
Something like that."
Yeah.
So anyway, I haven't yet. So I can still get a walk in here later after we do this, but
Well,
I have to be guilty. The discipline part is the part I need.
okay.
So the chaos will be adding the discipline. There you
Right.
go. Yep.
Well, it's I think you wanting to be an elk hunter is your chaos, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you can grab that and throw some discipline in there, and that chaos becomes life. That chaos
Yeah.
becomes the breath of fresh air. The
Yeah.
chaos isn't a bad word anymore.
Well, I think my bigger goal is, yeah, I do want to. I have had this goal of elk hunting and being successful with a bow at it, but a bigger part of the goal has become to me as I'm watching my grandsons grow up. I'm like, it's not gonna be too long. They're gonna be ready to go, and I need to be able to take them and get them out there and get them into it. Try to keep up with Vance. That kid, he won't need a deer stand. He'll just climb something and get comfortable and sit there. Anyway,
Okay.
but that's kind of it's become anytime we set a goal and we start working towards it, we always seem to, at least it's been our experience. I think you'd agree. First of all, we always learn a lot of stuff. We're like, oh, I need to know that to do this. I need to know that to do this. I need to, oh, by the way, that's good. But man, while I'm here, look what else is right here. And all I got to do is just a little bit more work. And the goal grows, the journey grows, but the goal grows as
Right.
well. And that's kind of how this has been. First, it would be really, I grew up fishing on the Gulf Coast, and I should do more of that, but I grew up doing it, no big deal. But I never really was much of a hunter. And
Right.
so this all kind of started with, oh, it would be really cool to only eat the meat that I went and got, whether it was fish or deer, elk, whatever.
Right.
And that's what started all this. And that's as it progressed, it became what it is now.
And what do you say it is now?
Now it's a be like Ed thing. That dude is 80 years old, and I was in pretty good shape then when I went. I couldn't keep up with him. I mean,
Right.
he's just not super fast, not slow, but if he needed to go, he could go. And he's out there with his sons and his sons' friends and his friends. And there's nothing to plug into. There's no refrigerators. There's no. I mean, you're out there,
Yeah. I
and
hear it.
yeah. So I want to share that with, especially with them.
Yeah. Well, you got to remove your limitations.
I guess so.
And I just remembered the saying that was in my
Okay.
dream.
Okay.
Should the elk be concerned?
Yes.
That's what it was in my dream.
Right.
So when I call you up every day, I'm going to ask you, should the elk be concerned today?
Right.
And then if you're doing your running and you're hill climbing and you're shooting your bow, then you can
Yeah.
say yes. They can start being a little concerned.
Yeah. They better get nervous.
There you go. But there ain't nothing to be nervous about now.
Right. Not at the moment. I can't claim it today.
All right. Well, it's waiting for you to take whenever you want it.
Right. Right. Anyway, that's what I've been working on. That's
Okay.
my chaos, my added chaos. If you start wanting to throw more chaos in there, I might get a resentment, which would
Right.
really cause some chaos. No,
Well,
I'm
we
just
can
playing.
just utilize the chaos that's there now, and we just need to fine tune it into some chaos that you want,
Right.
and make your choice, and then throw all the other shit off the table.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one thing you and I were talking about in that meditation from Jocko was about make your choices. Choose what you want to do and go do it. But I think the part that he left out is when you make that choice, you're going to have to push all that other potential choices off the table
Right.
because they're distractions. Well, maybe I should have got that, or maybe I should have did that, or no, it just I think you said it a while ago. I don't know where you heard it from, but it was stop worrying about making right decisions. Make a decision, then make it right.
Right.
That's what you're doing, man. You're taking
Yeah.
chaos and you're making it right.
Yeah.
You're making it your bitch.
Okay. I'm
See,
working
that's
on
the
it
fun
for
part.
sure.
That's the fun part, man.
Yeah. Well, to be in the fight. That's it.
Absolutely.
Don't get out of the fight.
Well, I did talk to little Chrissy a little while ago.
Good.
He
Somebody
finally
did.
called me back saying
Right.
he called me.
Right.
But anyways, he did the 10-day fast.
Yeah.
I
He
was
told
super
me.
excited to hear his results, but they were lackluster. I wasn't happy about it.
Right.
It's like, oh, there's really not much difference between day 8 and day 10.
Wow.
It's not what I wanted to hear.
Right. That's shocking to me.
Yeah, because
I
everybody
mean,
else I hear, that's like prime time.
yeah. Well, I think anytime you go past 3 days, you're really it starts compounding. The good that you're doing starts compounding up to a certain point.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, the most I've ever done was 7, and I felt a lot different.
Oh, of course.
I mean, I was lightheaded and everything else.
Hmm.
So
I
I
know I
never,
felt amazing when I did it. I was able
yeah,
to do my fastest 10-mile run ever.
yeah, I didn't do a run or anything like that. I did pass out at the gym.
That's because you're hanging upside down.
I was. So who knew?
Yeah. Forrest Gump, man, I went out just to do a normal. This was back when I was running on a regular. I was training for my triathlons, and I usually do a 3 to 5 mile run. And it was on a Saturday, and I just kept running. I'd never ran 10 miles before. I didn't even know that's what I was doing. I just kept running. And then I made it back to the house. I looked down at my watch, and I did 10 miles, and I was averaging like 13-minute miles.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the best I ever did.
Yeah, that is pretty dang good.
And that was day 5.
Right.
Day 5 of the fast. I was living
Awesome.
it, man, loving it. So you don't
It's,
sound very key on the big chaos thing.
it's a bitter pill.
Yeah. You sound
But
distracted.
no, I'm just, it kind of aggravates me that I don't feel closer to September. I mean, I
Oh,
actually had the thought today a couple times. I was like, man, if I don't get an elk tag, maybe that's not a bad bit. Maybe that's
oh
not too bad.
shit.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I'm fighting in my head right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I'm having that mental war, and so that's it.
That's a rough place to be.
Right. Yeah. So
Well,
uh,
I'm gonna let you know something. It ain't your fault. It's not your fault, You've
that's
been
not
comfortable
necessarily
for a
good.
long time, and now you're about to get uncomfortable, and your body's like, dude, we've been good, right? Let's not do this. Because I mean, the truth is that I heard this not too long ago. The science of it is our body is trying to protect itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's millions and millions of years of we don't know if we're going to eat tomorrow. We don't
Right.
know if we're going to have a place to sleep tonight. We don't know when we're going to get chased by a predator. You know, so it's always conserving energy. So I mean, you're technically just the mere fact of getting up and doing something, you're fighting against self-preservation. You know, but that's where you got to figure out: are you going to be the one that gets eaten by the tiger?
Right. Yeah. When you wake up, you better be running.
Yeah. Well, you know, the best fed and the most strongest and all that stuff is it's not necessarily they're the ones that don't get eaten by the tiger. It's the one that can outrun the tiger.
Well, yeah, you don't have to necessarily outrun the tiger. You have to be able to outrun at least one other gazelle,
There you go. That's it.
as long as you're not the slowest one.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I hear you,
That's
man.
not a good goal. Pardon?
That's a dangerous spot to be, man.
Yeah, that's all right. It's the thing is, I've been here before, so it's just get up and get after it. Like Jocko says, it's a choice.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to choose?
Right. That's it. I already chose. I just now have to act on it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
made a decision, right?
yeah. Well, the thing that wakes me up every day now, and I've been doing pretty good consistently on it, waking up at the 4:45 a.m. I have to say out loud. I have to sit up and say out loud, I don't want to die of diabetes. Get up and go. And I do.
Right.
I grab my little bottle of water with, 2 tablespoons of vinegar in it. And I just put my shoes on and go. But once I'm out there, like literally, once I lock my door and I
Right.
turn to face the whatever I'm going to exercise, go to the gym or if I'm going for a run or whatever, all that washes away. Now I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready to take it on. And when I'm done, I've never not done and said, dude, I should have stayed in bed.
Right. Yeah.
Ever. I've always said, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
But I can tell you every time I did stay in bed, I regretted it. I should have went for a run today.
Not every time.
Oh no, there were a few times. I was like, I'm
Right.
glad I slept in.
Right.
Especially those times when it's below 40.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad I slept in. Self-preservation.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to freeze my dinghy off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So really, that's about it. I don't have a whole lot going on. Taylor, right before I came on, I was talking to Taylor, and she had some upsetting news. One of her deals came apart. She said, and a lot of people are kind of disappointed and sad or whatever. And she's like,
Yeah.
y'all should talk about when things don't work out the way you want them to. And I'm like, that's every day. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, some days we have bigger things like that come apart. But anyway,
Well, that's a good topic, though, to be
what's
honest
that?
with you.
What's that? Say it again.
That is a good topic, though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
really good because everybody goes through it every single day.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you have a day where you have green lights the whole way.
Right.
There's going to be something that comes in your way because we're dealing with 8 billion other personalities.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Yeah.
dealing with a 1,000 miles an hour rotating ball,
Oh,
and so there's a lot of things that could happen. And I'm not saying that I always take it really well and smile and all that stuff. There are days when I do the spiritual thumbs up or, I sit there and say, well, damn it,
right.
that's the nice way of saying it. But then, I got the days where it's self-pity, oh, woe is me. Why does everybody else get these great things? And why am I living like this, but for the most part, putting some different principles into practice and realizing the truth, you know, everything that I've read is you should be smiling because there's an opportunity here. That's where you can really start changing. You know, when deals fall through, when relationships don't work out, when jobs don't work out, when things don't work out, I would start
Right.
looking around, man. There's something going on here. You should be
Right.
smiling like, what do you got?
Yeah. Something's coming up.
You know? And when you start messing with, you know, with those outcomes for selfish and self preservation, I think you ruin the miracles. I think you ruin the opportunity that this universe has set in front of you to really see the beauty, to see the miracles. You know, like I'll give you, for instance, probably it was about 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. Uh, you know, I had lost my job and I had been out of work for 18 months. You know, I did little piddly jobs here and there, you know, but nothing to where I could pay my mortgage. And my house was foreclosed on. Now, I didn't look at it as a negative. I looked at it as this is an opportunity to try something different, live somewhere different, start somewhere different. And it was a good way to look at that, where my wife, she was like, oh my God, we're going to lose our house. It's never going to be the same. And that's my whole, you know, because she attached herself to that way of living, you know, or that expectation of the way the outcome should have been. And I mean, at the end of the day, you know, her mom stepped in and helped us out financially, and I am completely grateful. I'm not saying I'm not grateful for what she did, but I'll be honest with you, Barry. I was looking forward to seeing what we could do. You know, I had a new program that was teaching me new tools for survival and how to, you know, have integrity and have brotherly love and have honesty and all that stuff. I was like, hell yeah, this is my opportunity to truly put this stuff into practice. And I wasn't able to do in that situation. But nowadays, man, I look forward to that deal that doesn't go through.
Right. Yeah, I think for her, it was more about her client's disappointment. And she also, we have a team of people we work with on a pretty regular basis. And if you will use our team, it really comes in play because we work with people. We've been doing it for years, and like any other business or people that are in business, you develop relationships with people that do good jobs. So anyway, one of our team members told them, hey, you know, you guys are not going to qualify for this.
Right.
And she already, her client already had somebody she was using that was telling her, oh yeah, you qualify for that and a lot more. And so as the deal went along, Taylor was like, she told her client, I don't know what's going on or why they're different, but this is who we work with and we work with them for a reason. So anyway, deal didn't work out. Well, bottom line is the person they were working with found some other things that they, I guess, didn't see the first time. And they're like, oh, hell no, you don't qualify for this at all.
Right.
But that was after, you know, they spent some money and some time and effort. And
Yeah.
so anyway, but she was just real, it makes you feel bad for your client. For us, it makes us, we feel like, man, what could I have done to not let that happen? You know, was there
Okay.
anything? Looking back at it, there wasn't because we did everything we were supposed to do. Use that term about the little ball spinning through space that we're on.
Yeah.
I like to call it open air spaceship. That thing, on top of everything else you said, we go through a meteor field twice a year because we're going through there's a field spraying and we're going through like this.
Right.
So there's your chaos. Every now and then something hits or something gets close enough to make a difference. If you look at the moon's probably taken so many hits that save the earth. So anyway, that's my deal relating to your chaos.
Okay. So when those things come up, though, I mean, you know, the way we respond, we're supposed to be the example. right? And I know you worked on something a long time ago where when somebody calls you up with adversity, some kind of news, a death, a loss, bad conversation, something like that. And you had said that you don't respond back. Oh, that's horrible. That's bad. You respond back with a neutral statement. Like,
Hmm.
oh, really? Well, tell me more about that. Or how does that
Hmm.
affect you?
Hmm.
Because you don't want to feed into the bad or the negative or the good and the great. There is no true good or bad. There's just opportunity. So, I do like that you were saying that they were looking, you guys stopped for a moment, looked at how do we prevent this stuff from happening.
Right.
And some things, it's inevitable. There's really not much you can do. You know, you can dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and sometimes they just don't line up. I think the most important thing is what do you do next?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're not, everything's not meant to be. And whenever you get enough resistance,
Yeah,
you need to step back and look, is this something I'm supposed to fight or not? So, but there's definitely need to think about it.
absolutely.
So, anyway, that was just one of the things we do here a lot that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up is acceptance.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about acceptance, but it's not,
Oh, I was getting all excited.
I'll just say it's not the answer, but it is part of the process because you have to have a place to start.
Well, yeah, you have to accept where you're at,
Right.
and do you want to still be there?
Right. That's right. And what's my next move? And like you said, what's the opportunity? You have to pause for a second. If I mean for me, if I don't pause for a second and I just have the emotion and not the logic, but just the emotion, and then my phone rings and I start talking to somebody else about something else, I still carry the same instead of getting the logic out of it. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I that word, that acceptance, I think, to be honest with you, it's almost like a dead end word.
Mm-hmm.
It's like acceptance period. Where I think a good word for people that take on chaos, take on adversity, take on challenges, take on this, take on that. That word acceptance is erased and it's now assessed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I like that better.
I'm going to assess what's going on and then I'm going to put a plan into action. Am I going to move forward? Am I going to go backwards? Am I going to go around? What's the plan of action after I assess? Because the truth is if you accept things, I mean, I don't know. I think that's more of a I accepted my life. Blah. It's nasty. It's a nasty taste.
Or is destiny?
Destiny. What is destiny?
Yeah.
Is that like what's that one? God, where it's the divine plan that
Right.
this is all
Yeah.
destiny is
This
supposed
is
to
my
be this
life.
way.
Right. I was destined to do this or be this.
Yeah,
Whatever it is.
I think
That's
that's bullshit.
that's creating your own prison.
Yeah, I think oh, this is my destiny. I was supposed to be a figure skater.
That was one of those goofy movies, wasn't it? I didn't see it.
Oh, the figure skaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was with Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Shit. Remember when we first met? I had this big old plan of destiny.
Yep.
You know, I had it all figured out. This is exactly how it was supposed to be, and it was mapped out. I got free will, but at the end of the day, we're all going to end the same. And then I finally got to live for the first time and realize that ain't it at all, man. I don't have to end any specific way. I can do however and whenever I want.
Right. You can change.
I can change and do things and embrace things. And, I don't have to accept. I can assess and adjust.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Or you could do the step 10 thing. Pray
Step
about
10.
pray about it. Do I owe anybody an amends? Make amends.
Okay.
Call somebody,
There
turn
you
to
go.
helping somebody else.
And go get busy.
Yeah. In other words, quit thinking about yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I met with a newcomer yesterday,
Right.
and we got in the book, and I said, okay, let's read. And so he read the first word, and I said, stop. I go, what you just read is the most important part of this program. He goes, we? I go, we.
That's
That's
it.
the most important part of this program. There's no way this program will ever work with you. You got here, but we're going to get there.
Right.
And then we kept reading into the book, and then I said, stop. And it was talking about practical application at once. Immediately, practical application. I go, that's the second most important part of this program. First, it's a we program. Second, it's about what the hell you do. That's what
Right.
practical application means. Put it into practice. If you can gather those two things and stay focused on the we and the doing, you'll be just fine.
Right.
You know?
Good. Good.
So, yeah,
So,
it's good.
so did he figure out if he's one of us?
He did. He did. He
Oh.
loved, absolutely loved the gorilla. Because I had asked him, I said, the way you're drinking, man, the way you're doing stuff, it's almost like having sex with a gorilla.
Right.
And he looked at me, he's like, what? I go, yeah, man, you initiate sex with a gorilla, you ain't done till the gorilla's done, dude.
That's right.
And he like you could see his brain like crack, 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 boom, bing, chick, down, pow. He goes, shit. Yeah, I know what you mean. So that's right, man. That's
There
right.
you go.
Alcohol is one hell of a gorilla, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
So yeah, no, he was excited about it. He spent $86,000 to meet me,
Wow. Wow.
where we spent $6 on a cup of coffee, 2 cups of coffee,
Uh-huh.
and he got more of the program in that 2 hours that we met than 2 months at a rehab.
Yeah. Well, I guess that 80,000 was proving he was ready.
I guess so.
He,
Something happened there.
he got him to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm kind of expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, yeah. So I think overall, when we're talking about when adversity comes, when things don't work out the way you think that they're supposed to work out, I think the first suggestion to all of our listeners out there is first and foremost, stop trying to play God.
Right.
You're not good at it. So then look at the opportunity. That's the next thing. Where are you at? Are you happy with this? Are you done with this? Is there some other way? Have you included other people in this scenario? You may not be the expert. You might need to call a few people and say what else is going on, and then weigh it up. Is it worth it? You know, go see something else. There's always something better, man. There's always something else out there that you'll be like, oh, could you imagine if we would have got what we actually wanted?
Oh, yeah. That's happened to me a few times.
That would have been the worst thing in the world that I actually got what I've
Right.
been praying for.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I learned to say whatever happens, that's the best thing that could have ever happened.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I get out of that whole good and bad thing. And I really, I get in trouble sometimes about the expectations because when I think of expectations, I'm not thinking of this grandiose idea. When I think of expectations, I look at, are you doing your part and am I doing my part? Because I believe in relationships and business deals, partnerships, things like that. Everybody has a role and everyone's supposed to complete and fulfill their part. And I believe it's okay to have an expectation of your business partner or of your relationship or of an employer. Hey, I worked my 40 hours. I expect a paycheck.
Right.
I think in that case, expectations are good.
Right.
You know, Now, when you start thinking outside of that, well, I should get a promotion. Oh, I should become the vice president of the company. Well, okay, now you're getting a little crazy because that wasn't part of the deal. Part of the deal was you show up, do the XYZ, and I'll give you a paycheck at the end.
Right.
I expect you to show up and you expect me to pay you. That's the deal.
Right.
Anything else outside of that, those are just opportunities. Did you make the most of it? But don't expect anything.
Right. Well, like you said, we do have some expectations. You can't choose between two different people if you don't have an expectation, because you're going to expect something out of this one you think they can do that this one can't do as well.
Yep,
so anyway,
absolutely.
That's the basic kind of expectations. But I think when we get into controlling the outcome, wanting to control the outcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a scenario. Like you could go and say, you know what, I'm looking forward to having a tomato, and go to the store and expect to see tomatoes.
Right.
Right? Well, there's no deal. The grocery store didn't say, well, we'll make sure that we have tomatoes for Tom. They may be out of tomatoes. But I shouldn't get all pissed off because there was no deal between us. There was no expectations as far as if I show up, you have tomatoes. That's our deal, right? So then when those scenarios come open, just like with the deal with Taylor, we're doing our part. But we can't have expectations. We're just going to do our part. So when I go to the grocery store, they don't have tomatoes. I need to stop for a moment, look for other opportunities, because there may be something else I can experience that I would have enjoyed a lot more than a tomato.
Yep. You never know until you try. Yeah. There you go.
It ain't for the coffee.
It's not for the coffee.
We're looking for opportunities.
Exactly.
Be of service.
Exactly. The other thing you got to think of too is when you get there and there's no tomatoes, you got to wonder how many people were communicated to telepathically to go buy all those tomatoes. You were the last one to get the message in the telepathic chain.
Well, that's because the elk aren't concerned yet.
That's right.
The elk are not concerned.
They're telepathic, right?
Yeah. They know. That's why I'm saying, man, you get going, grab a hold of this shit like you actually want to do it.
Right.
And the elk will hear it. When you start waking up early in the morning and start doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to hear the elk screaming at 4:45 in the morning while you're out there doing your 5-mile hike.
Yeah. I'd love to hear it out here.
That's right. You'll hear it in your soul.
Oh,
They'll be speaking to you telepathically.
Right. I'm all for it.
That's right. No, go back to bed. Don't come out here, Barry. We don't want to be concerned. There you go.
There you go.
It's up to you, though. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it, fucking get doing it.
That's right. As per usual.
There you go. Make the choice and get busy. So we program and a lot of action.
That's the only thing that really counts when it's all said and done is the action.
That literally is it. The action. I don't know of anybody that died on their deathbed going, man, just thinking about all my great thoughts. Can you just imagine all my great intentions?
That's
no,
crazy.
Man. They're all talking about the crazy stories and the crazy lives they lived and all the things that their ebbs and flows of life, the highs and the lows and how they overcame obstacles, including the biggest one, which is ourselves.
That is the biggest by far. I mean, that's what it's all about, actually.
By the way, man.
If I can get enough of me out of the way, great things could happen.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
All right, perfect, man. That's all I got. I think we covered quite a bit.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff. Anything else going up there? I know it's the springtime. We don't have to get into that up there.
I just know you need to come visit because I miss you.
Okay.
I just need to spend a little one-on-one with you.
I'll make it a priority.
I appreciate that. I think it'll definitely help your outlook on things.
Right. Very good. And be able to get out and get in the sun.
That's right. That's what you need to do. Let's get
All
out in
right.
the sun.
All right, man.
Let's go swimming.
There you go. A little chilly, but I'm ready.
You know what's going to happen if we go swimming, though.
I do. That's
See, you have expectations, brother. You have expectations.
right. It'd be like a dog chasing a car. When you catch one, you can't drive.
I understand that, but man, was it a hell of a run.
There you
That
go.
was a hell of a run, brother.
Right. Right.
All right, y'all.
Okay, bud. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.
Bye.
What?